I'm Shay Russell for mining.com.au, and joining me today is the Non-Executive Director for Heavy Minerals, Adam Schofield. Adam, how are you? It's great to see you again.
I'm really good, thanks, Shay. Thanks for having us today.
It's a pleasure. We're going to get to what that impressive machinery is in the background in just a second. First of all, I'd love to discuss the recent funding that Heavy Minerals secured last week with Campbell's Transport. Talk me through these numbers.
We initiated a fundraising royalty program last year with the primary objective of actually trying to preserve shareholder value by not diluting shareholders. We're on a pathway to production at Port Gregory within 2 years, and we decided it was a great idea to, as I say, retain shareholder value. We're currently, we were in tranche 1 of that program, and we'd raised about $850,000 over the previous 12 months, which we've utilised on our PFS at Port Gregory. And we just brought Campbell Transport in for a $1.25 million contribution, with them expressing interest in taking up all of tranche 2, which is a similar $2 million amount. So right now, the 1.25 gets us all the way through the end of our Prefeasibility Study, which we're anticipating being completed somewhere between December and January of this year and next year. So very important funding, and obviously the PFS leads us, it re-rates us, and leads us into all sorts of exciting things.
All right. Now, the big kid in me loves machinery and wants to know, what are we standing and looking at? Because I've already been fortunate enough to be on a site tour with you guys, but this doesn't look like anything I saw when I was up on the Gold Coast recently. So show me the toys.
Fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what we're doing here in the first place. We're actually on a coatings application course being run by an American non-for-profit abrasives outfit called AMPP, and we're effectively training up to be able to apply coatings, but also sandblast. And we decided it was very important as a company that's going to be providing this product to the market that we actually understand our customers. So we're doing this course at the moment. We're actually at ABSS's facility, and ABSS recently signed a offtake agreement with us for about 10% of our Australian production. They manufacture the equipment that is behind us, and what we're looking at in the background is a sandblasting hopper supply feeding into a actual sandblasting room. So we have a model who's currently suited up, standing in there. We're not actually blasting because it is incredibly loud when this happens. But on Wednesday of this week, we will be doing a live crossover where I'll actually be blasting in that container behind us. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. This scale's probably not accurate, but the equipment's quite significant behind us, and ABSS, I believe, are the largest manufacturer of this equipment in Southeast Asia, and one of the biggest private suppliers globally.
As you said before, this is just an indicator of what comes next. So how important is what you're doing today as part of the process to getting into production?
Well, it's probably not as important in respect to the actual course. Doesn't really relate to, I suppose, what we're doing, but understanding our clients is incredibly important, and offtake and our offtake partners, they're experts in this industry, and for us to be able to relate directly to what they're doing is critically important. So, and I'm a mechanical engineer, so this is extremely fun, I have to point out. But yeah. There is a practical aspect to this, as I say, and it's very client-focused for us.
And finally, let's bring it back to where we started today's conversation, and that is with the royalty funding agreement. Tell me, what are the next steps that we can expect from this?
Well, we've obviously recommenced our PFS. We've been looking at reducing our capital costs. We've been doing a lot of work in the last few months in respect to that ahead of recommencing our study work. We will continue to bring funds in, and that's really so that we lead into our BFS study, which, again, we're anticipating kicking off early next year. And once all the funding's secured, and it kind of is secured, we're just really trying to get as much work done as we can, and get that PFS done as quickly as possible, but making sure it's done right. So with IHC Robbins, or IHC Mining, sorry, who are our study manager, we're anticipating getting a really robust study done. But there's lots of ancillary work for us to do, and obviously this funding facilitates all of that work that's required. So.
Listen, there is some exciting times ahead for the company, but also too, I encourage everybody to watch the live cross that you've got coming up on August the 14th, Wednesday, August the 14th, because I think it'd be really cool to see this sandblasting in action.
Absolutely. I'm just going to walk you nice and slowly over to the shed, and we'll demonstrate what a person who's fully kitted out in a sandblasting outfit looks like. These
Absolutely.
sheds are actually manufactured by ABSS, and here's our model standing in. Normally this would be incredibly loud, and there would be garnets coming out of that nozzle. As I say, ABSS manufacture these sheds, and this is a professional sandblasting unit. So, yeah, again, the scale, this is a 20-foot container, so not significantly large, but still impressive. And I've actually got some garnet on the table, which I'll just point you to very quickly. But this is the product that would normally be coming out of that nozzle, and you may have seen it before, Shay, but that's sandblasting material. It's very fine sand, and incredibly hard and very fluid when it's used in the equipment. So, but yeah, so that's ABSS, and that's what we're doing here, and very excited to be here, I have to say.
Now, Adam, I know the markets were pretty bleak for most people yesterday, but I believe the share price performance of heavy minerals was actually one of the standout performers on the ASX. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the day we announced our royalty, we were the best performing share on the ASX, which we're quite pleased about. Gives us a bit of recognition, and it demonstrates just how important what we're doing is. To be fair, the market wasn't great, but we'll take the win.
This is incredibly exciting, and I am a little jealous that you get to have a play with all these toys there. Of course, it is very serious business, but again, I just want to reiterate, I hope everybody checks out the live cross to see this in action, because this isn't something you get to see every day, and it just emphasizes the role of how important garnet and garnet produced by heavy minerals really is in industrial applications.
Exactly. Thank you, Shay. Thanks for having us.